I now call the honourable member for Holt.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I rise tonight to talk about a man and a group of people who are truly making a difference in my community. That man is Pastor Larry Sebastian in the church, that group of people, which is a church, is the Casey City Church. Now, this church was founded in March 2003, and Larry, as the senior minister, has sought to organise community and outreach events which connect with schools and community groups. In fact, they do a lot of outreach services. It's a relatively young church. It's 8 years old, 9 years old. I think it was yesterday, actually. And Larry and his senior ministry are actually taking the church out to the people. Now, our community, as you would know, Mr Speaker, is a growth belt community. It has a lot of people that have shifted out or come into the area to make their lives their own, I guess. What they want to do is they've bought an idea, a dream and an aspiration. And what they do when they shift out to these growth belt communities, they often find that there's not a thing called a lot of social infrastructure. There are growing communities, but there's not the social infrastructure that binds the community together. So what they look for, the community, are events and groups of people who make a difference, who help provide that glue, that help provide the services that they need. Because often in these growth belt communities, they don't get the services or the access to the services that they need. And this is where Larry and the Casey City Church come in. Now, what drove this home to me was an event called the Carols by Twilight, which is held at Max Pawsey Reserve each Christmas Eve. Now, the event itself had been running for something like 35 years, and it's a landmark event. It's one of those events that after a long year, particularly if it's been a fairly tough year, that people gather together to celebrate being a community. And they do that celebrating Christmas and what I like to think is the true meaning of Christmas. So what happened this year, and as I said, what drove home the great work that Larry actually does and his church, is that I attended this event. It had been forecast that there could be about 2,000 or 3,000 people. So you could imagine when I walked onto the stage and saw about 7,000 who were there. Many with candles that were sort of signifying hope and hope for a better future. And the music that was provided there was just quite extraordinary. Some of the artists that performed there were Ross Wishart, Madison Pritchett, opera singers Shu Chin Yu, Ollie and Chris Sebastian, Daniel Keelat, Kobe Demiria, and a number of others. And the Casey City Church Band provided backup for the artists. Now, Larry himself is a fairly accomplished musician, being the uncle of Guy Sebastian, and the Sebastian family provided a lot of the support. And I don't think there's a member of the Sebastian family that actually can't sing, certainly from what I actually heard. But this event, which Larry himself has been running with the church for 2 years, the church had provided the music for, I think it's about 6 or 7 years, I think has emphasised a church that reached out to the community. And if you could have been there that night and seen the reaction that we got, that the people got to the words that were said, the music that was performed, you could see the great work that the church was doing. And this church has a number of ministries, and I won't go into them now, but what I did want to say to Larry and to the church is that you are making a significant difference to the lives that people lead in our area. The ministries that you offer, they have a very unique concept, which is a cafe, a new community cafe, where you can actually walk in and you pay as you feel. Now, there are a lot of people in my community that actually don't have a lot of money. And having a service like that, where you can come in a spirit of friendship, in a good environment, I think it's the City Edge facility, you can come in and actually share a meal, and if you don't have a lot of money, you don't have to pay a lot of money. You can pay what you feel, pay what you have. And the fact that churches like this are reaching out to the community says a lot about Larry and the church in which he's running. In the short amount of time I have available, I want to talk about a number of special people. Alice Cochran from St Margaret's School, Maddie Gordon-Walker from Beacon Hills College, Luke Pell from Gleneagles Secondary College, Tanisha Beveridge from Lyndhurst Secondary College, Corey Mathrick from Cranbourne Secondary College, Amelia Stefanovic from Cranbourne Secondary College, Kyra Shea Locke from Berwick Secondary College, Catherine Hazel from Hampton Park Secondary College, Benjamin Hill from Fountain Gate Secondary College, and Amanda Karen from Maranatha Christian School. These young people came to see us as part of the City of Casey Australian Study Tour. And can I say, Mr Speaker, that these young people who are 16 and over that go to schools in my area, that they've come to observe how government function. If these people are the future of our country's in very safe hands.
Order. The honourable member's time has expired.